Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. This is Chris in central Pennsylvania. In light of President Trump's executive order directing a 90-day pause in foreign aid, South Africa's ruling coalition member, the Democratic Alliance, has appealed to the United States to change course. The Democratic Alliance urges the U.S. government to recognize that every dollar spent on global health initiatives, such as PEPFAR, directly strengthens international security and bolsters America's global influence. A sudden cessation of this magnitude may ultimately compromise U.S. national interest in the region. Was that written by the director of PEPFAR? So, how exactly does it strengthen international security? By improving human security? If so, why doesn't the United Nations and its other 193 member states carry the water? How does it compromise our national security? Are HIV positive South Africans a national security threat to America? And how is keeping tens of millions of South Africans, Namibians, Botswana, and Zimbabweans alive with antiretrovirals for more than 20 years improved U.S. national security interest? I'm curious. Yes, PEPFAR does bolster our influence and at times even our access to foreign officials, but at what cost? We can get the same influence in less costly ways. Given the critical nature of this life-saving treatment, both government departments and nonprofit organizations dependent on PEPFAR and related USAID funding across South Africa need more time to prepare for any potential phase-out of long-standing HIV/AIDS resourcing. More time to prepare. President Bush created PEPFAR in 2003. I know, I was there at the inception. The acronym could not be clearer. The President's Emergency Program, not the President's Enduring Program. South Africa, you've had 23 years. At this point, we've even seen the expiration of any claim of a moral hazard in providing antiretrovirals. You've had more than enough time. South Africa and the ANC have had 18 more years than PEPFAR was originally envisioned to even be an emergency program. That's plenty of time to prepare, adapt, and accept responsibility. Why haven't you? We call upon the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and relevant policymakers to swiftly reinstate funding whilst a broader programmatic review is underway and allow the recommencement of life-saving HIV care in South Africa. Reinstate what? There's no funding cut. No one has cut funding these programs. It's simply a prohibition on new commitments, not funding cuts. Your information is incorrect. And by the way, thank you, Democratic Alliance, for registering your concerns. You obviously mean well. But I'm curious, where is the African National Congress in registering their concerns? I see that even though Ronnie Lamola is Pretoria's foreign minister, the DA's spokesperson for international relations, Emma Louise Powell, has called on Washington for action. On her Twitter account, she said, "We call on U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and policymakers to urgently reinstate PEPFAR funding whilst abroad, yada, yada." We've already covered that. Respectfully, Emma, there's nothing to reinstate. Nothing has been canceled. Simply need people to quit saying the sky is falling in South Africa. Now, the ANC's Aaron Motsoaledi, who is South Africa's health minister, is silent for the moment. Is the DA not out in front of its skis with this request? The ANC isn't appealing. They control the foreign ministry. They control the Ministry of Health, and neither their ministers and neither of those departments are out appealing for the U.S. to reinstate something. Strangely, the African National Congress appears to be the adult in the room. ANC National Executive Committee member Zuko Godlimpi had the following to say. We've noted that they are reviewing USAID across the board. There's no need for panic as yet. Initially, they said they were canceling the aid, but now they are reviewing it to re-rationalize, as any administration would do. So other than that, there's not much to say at the moment. We will see what they decide once the review is complete. Correct. 100%. Wow, the ANC actually got something correct for once. I'm going to fall on my chair. The Democratic Alliance's Cassandra-like closing line appears to be intended to give the impression that the party cares. Perhaps they do care, but clueless seems to be a more apt description of where the Democratic Alliance is at the moment. Millions of lives are at risk, as they've always been. While the government of South Africa neglected its citizens, denying HIV-positive mothers access to free U.S.-provided nevirapine, allowing hospitals to fall into disrepair, and stealing billions of dollars, South Africans have suffered, and we've carried the load. And you've had 18 extra years to sort it out, and have failed to do so. Needlessly crying wolf is not helpful. Now, our embassy in Belgrade has made it very clear. President Trump stated clearly that the United States is no longer going to blindly dole out money with no return for the American people. Reviewing and realigning foreign assistance on behalf of hardworking taxpayers is not just the right thing to do, it is a moral imperative. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said every dollar we spend, every program we fund, and every policy we pursue must be justified with the answer to three simple questions. Does it make America safer? Does it make America stronger? Does it make America more prosperous? Those are fair questions. And a 90-day pause on expending new commitments is a reasonable approach. But that's not how it's being reported in the press, here in the United States or in Africa, where people are losing their minds. Well, not the ANC. What say you, South Africa? Cheers.